Well, welcome back. Joining us in the studio this week, we're delighted to have Ms. Melissa Curtin from the Community Foundation for Anne Arundel County. Melissa, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's nice to see you too.
Nice to have you here today. Do you mind explaining a bit about what the foundation is?
I would love to. The Community Foundation of Anne Arundel County is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Our mission is to inspire and grow philanthropy in Anne Arundel County. We partner with donors to help them meet their financial and philanthropic goals. We help to identify critical issues in the county, and we also help to strengthen and partner. We collaborate with nonprofits to help strengthen nonprofits for the county as well.
And talk to us a bit about the Anne Arundel Fund.
What is the Anne Arundel Fund?
Well, can I tell you a little bit more about the Community Foundation first?
Yeah,
Do you mind?
absolutely.
I just want to get a
You
little
have the
bit more.
floor, whatever you want to talk about.
I'll be happy to talk about the
amongst
I
ourselves.
want to hear
So-
every detail.
Because, well, we've made a ton of progress over the past couple of years, but we're the largest institutional funder, grant maker in Anne Arundel County. So last year we gave out $2.3 million in grants. But what that really, it's a big deal. So
Yeah.
we haven't
Not
been
bad.
talking about
Not
it
bad at all.
enough. Yeah, it's very, very exciting. So if you think about us as a philanthropic bank, we have 122 funds or accounts. And those are donor advised. They can be an individual, a family, a company, or a nonprofit. So they own the fund, they have their own investment strategy, there's money coming in, there's money going out. But when you think about the generosity of the donors, 122 donors who have given out that $2.3 million last year to nonprofits, it's just a really big deal. So we manage $14.5 million in total assets now.
That's a lot
we've
to
just
manage.
had a lot of progress. Well, we're small. We're actually a small community foundation.
About how many in the foundation? Your
Staff?
Yeah.
There are 4 of us now. Well,
Four? Okay.
Yeah, we're small and mighty.
So, okay, let's say that
Let's say.
Mr. and Mrs. Wheel, McCrory, Lagana, something they're really passionate about music for puppies. How does the Community Foundation come in and help with that?
Well, first off, I love that because one of the best parts of this job is learning about people's passions. People have passions for all kinds of things, and they
Yeah.
all matter. They
Yeah.
do. So we would sit down with you and your new husband, and we would talk about what kind of impact do you want to have, what kind of legacy do you want to have with your philanthropic dollars. And so we would open for you what's called a donor advised fund, and we really serve as your back office. So rather than you two going and starting your own foundation, you have your fund or your account, as we talked about, and you have your own portal. You get to put money in there whenever you want.
When you give portal.
Your own online portal.
That's awesome.
So you give your money today, you get your tax deduction now. You can make grants this year, you can make them years down the road, you can continue to add, but you go in through that portal and you can see how much money you have, you can see the interest your account, your fund is gaining. You can, did I already say make grants? You can make your grant request there, et cetera. But then say like you want us to do some research for you on what other organizations can we support around puppies and music. I mean, there's a whole therapeutic approach, for example. There's maybe organization, like there's multiple things. So we say, great, we're happy to help you with that. We can make an introduction to a nonprofit for a tour. It's a customized approach. We are partners. We call you a philanthropic partner and that we are a family of funds because we're all in this together. And it's people with kind hearts, and I don't just say this lightly, who want to give back and grow our community in these ways that we love to be in partnership with.
And I think it's really important that you also, when you said the back-end office, you cross the T's, you check the paperwork, you make sure that if someone is trying to raise money for something, that the recipient has all of their tax status done correctly, has all their paperwork, so that this is all on the up and up and it's done right and the money gets to the right place. Because you see that in fundraising and foundations so much where it turns out that the money doesn't go where it's supposed to go. So I think that's a really key role.
We are
that you
very
play.
diligent. That's very, very critical.
Yeah.
And that's another key role we play is partnering with donors and nonprofits. Donors and nonprofits need each other. That's how the formula works. You know, donors want to find that right match, and nonprofits need that money to provide those services. So, yes.
Right.
And with your experience and with those connections that you have, it's way more advantageous to go through you than, like you said, trying to start it on your own or.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So as director, executive director, you've been there 2 years?
A little over 2.5 almost, yep.
Tell us about your role there.
Yeah, so my role is to lead strategic direction, guide fund development, the board, et cetera. I mean, really just manage the organization.
And again, it's a small staff for.
Small. We have 4.3 FTE. We are small but mighty. We've covered a lot of ground. We've had a lot of growth over the last couple of years. The organization started in 1998. There are actually over 850 community foundations in the United States, 850 in the US, 13 now in Maryland, and each of them typically covers a geography of around 220,000. So we cover a geography of over 550,000, right? Because we are a county-wide organization. We are the Anne Arundel County Community Foundation. So we have increased our assets. We are currently at $14.5 million. Last year, we gave out $2.3 million in grants. And when I say we, those are the generous donors who have all of those 122 funds that gave out that grant money. So that makes us the largest institutional funder in Anne Arundel County.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
So let's say I want to contribute to the Anne Arundel Fund. What are some examples of things that I can contribute to?
Yes, so there are 9 funds, and they vary by department. You can see the list on our website. But for example, there's always money being raised for a new piece of equipment within fire and police, for example. There's always significant equipment needs. We work the partnership for Children, Youth, and Families, for example. They have a plan in North County focused on children and youth, and they're trying to develop a new disconnected youth drop-in center, for example.
After-school programs.
After-school programs, meals, I mean, the entire gamut, because
That's a
there are
big
so
problem
many.
here.
Yeah, there are so many, and that's the thing. I mean, there are a lot of issues, as I think I shared earlier, in Anne Arundel County.
So I'm going to ask you the $54 million question that everybody always asks you, I'm sure, which is, I already pay taxes. Why am I donating to Anne Arundel County?
We do get that question a lot, actually. There is never enough money. I mean, and it's very complex. The county budget is very complex. The money that's coming in and out of the state, in and out of the county, in and out of the city, I mean, there's just never enough. And there are a lot of needs, and there are a lot of services. There's a lot of required infrastructure, et cetera. And we get asked from people, how can I give to these programs? Animal control is a really great example. People love to give to animal control, and we know that they give. So in an effort, again, to streamline this process, to be more transparent, really to be more efficient and effective with donors' dollars, which is critical, that's our role, but also on the other side to make sure that the money gets to where donors want it to go, that's really where we come in. So, but there's never enough. And we could talk about taxes all day long, particularly this year with all of the new tax laws, which is directly linked to philanthropy. We know there's an estimate that there's going to be a $20 billion decrease in philanthropy in 2018. So think about that, you know, when you think about all of the services that may or may not be covered. The county provides a lot of critical services for people, much more than people actually recognize.
And we still need folks to give, and we have people out there that want to give. So what is the best way to donate, and what's the best way to call you for more information about setting up a fund?
Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
So you can go to our website at www.cfaac.org. And when you go there, there's a button on the top that says donate. When you go there, you go in and you'll go into it and you'll see all the list of funds for the county. There are other funds too. We have some other grant programs in there. But if you just want to sit down with me, I'm more than happy to meet with anybody at any time to talk about your goals, to talk about an organization you may be involved with, just to share the Community Foundation, what it is, and how you can get involved. So.
And you've been
Thank
such
you.
a pleasure to sit down with, so we
Well,
thank you for
thank
coming
you for
on
the
this
opportunity.
week. This week it's
And
so
Kristen,
important.
before we go, they have a very nice website, by the way. I'm a
thank
website
you.
guy. Very nice.
CFAAC, Community Fund, Anne Arundel, AAC, Anne Arundel County.
CFAAC.
CFAAC.
I was going to say, if you're like Kristen and you're having trouble with the acronym, aacounty.org, boom, right on the front page, there's a link to go right to the
thank
Anne Arundel
you.
Fund.
Perfect.
So
Nice.
There we go.
Perfect.
Easy
Thank you.
peasy.
Thank you.
Easy
Thank
peasy.
you.
Well, we thank you so much for coming on the show this week. Lots of really great information. And with you folks out there, we hope you'll consider donating or getting more involved. We'll be right back with more Week in Review right after this. Don't go anywhere.